Cats, what's happening? It is a glorious beginning to the Memorial holiday weekend. For me, it's always a weekend every day, being retired. Maybe some of you are still working. Hopefully, you get a 3-day weekend this holiday here. And by the time you're seeing this, you're already halfway through. You got tomorrow, and that's it. So. Memorial Day proper. So, today for me is Friday, so you're seeing this a couple days later. But I've got plans for the weekend. Today, Friday, I'm going to go over and pick up Buzz, and we're going to check out the Rib Fest up in Berea and have some ribs. And see who's going to be the National Rib Championship. They call it the National Rib Cook-Off. So I don't know what's national about it. If it's the only rib cook-off in the country, or I wouldn't think so. But that's what it's called, anyways. What's up, buddy? The other thing I got going is tomorrow. It's going to be Saturday for me. I'm going to go across the street to the neighbors, and I've already baked 2 strawberry rhubarb pies. They're ready to go. I'm taking one over to them, and then Monday, Memorial Day proper, the other pie I'm going to take over to my sons and enjoy those. Now, is the pie on my diet? It sure will be. When I put all the effort into it, and it's one of my favorite pies, I'm definitely going to partake in a slice, maybe 2, of my strawberry rhubarb pies. In my last episode, I was pretty irritated with rabbits getting into my garden over there. And so I pulled out my Glenfield Marlin 60, a .22 caliber rifle, and I came out the front door and I walked around the yard here, and there was one of the rabbits sitting right there. So I popped him, and just about then a second rabbit comes out from behind the doghouse there. So I went over here, bam, popped him. So just like that, within a minute, I got 2 rabbits. Now, I show you the picture here. Some of you may want to close your eyes, turn your head. There you go. Proof is in the pudding. And even as I come out here to the garden right now, I see one rabbit that just ran down the yard and into the woods down there. So they haven't been getting in my garden anymore that I'm aware of, but they were in here, and they did cause some damage to some of my plants. As I showed you, one of my tomatoes was broken off. I see another tomato over there that has the one of the stems broken off, and then they ate probably a half of my sunflowers, chewed them right to the ground. So that irritated me enough that I had to, I had to get busy. Now, I know it sounds cruel, and somebody said, well, you could put, a finer gauge wire around the bottom of the fence, but that wire's not cheap. And to go, probably, let's see, that's 60, probably 150 feet of wire I would need. It's just easier to shoot the rabbits, and then it's done, and it didn't cost me anything. And I won't have any more problems with those bunnies. I have this planter on the back deck, and I planted a shorter version of sunflowers in there. I planted the sunflowers in there, and then I come back 2 days later, and they were all dug up. So I thought, doggone it, So I had this cage around it, so I went back and I put a layer of chicken wire inside there. And I thought, well, there, the chipmunk can't get through that. And I slide this down over top of that. I'll come back 2 days later, it was all dug up again. So this time I cut a section of hardware cloth. This is a much finer mesh. And I realized it wasn't even the chipmunk that was getting in there, it was mice. And every time I planted the seeds, they were digging them all up and eating them. So I put this on there, and now you can see the little sprouts coming up in there. So once they get up a little higher, I can take that off, because I wouldn't think the mice would bother them once they start to grow. They just wanted to eat the seed. Why I have this big cage around that, and I don't need to cage that. They can get their nose in there and get pricked. I have basil and cilantro in here, and I got a cage around it too. If I don't cage this stuff, the raccoons get into my stuff and tear it up. You know, it's pathetic, but hey, that's the price you pay for living out in the woods, you know. You're gonna have varmints. Well, let's head over and pick up Buzz and head up to Berea and get something to eat. I'm getting hungry. We made it up to the not pig roast, the rib roast. So we got Mojo's, Smoking Teas, Porky Chicks, Pigfoot. Another one, After Hour Barbecue, Old Town Barbecue. I don't know which one we're gonna eat at.
You want a lemonade, Bob? I'm gonna have a lemonade. You want lemonade?
You got some ribs there, and that's a hot fire.
You want a lemonade?
I'll take a lemonade.
Get your face painted.
Get my face painted. Well, they got all kinds of junk here, don't they? Well, it doesn't matter where you go here, you gotta wait in line. All these. We figured the most popular one had the longest line, so we took the one with the shortest line. Let's see what we got here. That doesn't look bad. What do you think? Good?
Good.
Meet your approval? Best in the nation?
Best in that corner of the Berea Fairgrounds.
That one's from hometown, Medina, Ohio. Smoke, eat, repeat. Tell you what, those ribs we had were pretty good. Kind of like the county fair, only all food. Expensive though. Well, good morning, cats. It is Saturday now. Today or this weekend is the Ohio Bike Week up in Sandusky. I see a buzzard up here flying over there looking for me. I'm not ready yet. Anyway, this weekend is Ohio Bike Week up in Sandusky, and in the past years I've taken a group of guys. We've ridden up there and just kind of, walked around, looked at things. Not doing that this year though. I got other plans for this weekend. Right now, I got to head out and pick up groceries because I'm getting low on things, you know, and I need some staples. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to try to get there first thing this morning. Looks like it's going to rain. It's getting pretty dark over here. And I looked at radar and there was some rain moving in today. So anybody riding up to the bike week has got a chance that they're going to get wet today. But yeah, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to ride today. I've got too many things to do. I got things to haul. I got to carry my pies for one, and I can't carry those in on the bike. So, but anyway, I'm going to get moving here. It never fails when I come down to the mailbox. It's like a freaking expressway down here on my old country road. Got to pay the bills though. Good grief. They're going like 70 miles an hour. I see the county came down here and mowed my ditch line, but they only mowed like half of it and they left the high weeds. You know, I'm picky about my things, and when I see stuff like that, that bugs me. I'm sorry. It just bugs me. I ran equipment for a good part of my life, and you know, there's a way to do things. But there's those that just like to cut corners, you know, and get by with as little as possible. Okay, anyway, I'm on the road again. Get this grocery thing over with, get home, and get ready for the picnics. They're probably going to be indoors today if it rains, but that's all right. It's all about get together and the good food, the good eats. I had a lot of fun yesterday at the Rib Fest. The ribs were really good and, you know, filled my belly up. And then Buzz and I sat around and we watched the band. They had a band, they had a big stage there and they had a band playing, you know, like classic old rock stuff. You know, some Beatles, things like that. They were a pretty good band, but we enjoyed that. Just people watching. One thing I did notice, Americans are overweight people. I mean, I'm looking around at the crowd, and 99% of the people there, including myself, were overweight. And I've been losing weight. I'm getting close to 20 pounds now. I'm getting close to being down 20 pounds. And I'm already feeling a little bit better. But I want to keep going with this. The ribs were on my diet, by the way. I can eat all the meat I want. But today, going to another picnic, so that's going to be challenging. And like I said, I am going to cheat and have a piece of my strawberry rhubarb pie. Looking forward to that treat. I just won't be making a habit of eating sweets anymore. Or the starches, you know. I'm just stay away from the starches. So, but this weekend, today and tomorrow, or not tomorrow, but today and Monday, because today's Saturday. So again, Monday, I'll be eating good food again. But even then, I can just stick to the meats and vegetables and stay away from the things that I shouldn't be eating to stay on my diet anyway. I love the holiday, but you know, we gotta stop and remember what this holiday is really. Memorial Day. We remember those who have served and have given their lives for us. This day is in memoriam for them. And I'm sure there's parades all over the place. I loved going to the parades, and one of the things that's always, you know, the color guard that begins the parade with the military guys carrying the flags, marching ahead of the parade, always gives me goosebumps. I'm a patriot. I love this country and what it once stood for, and I hope that maybe one day we can get there again. Hard to say what's going to happen in this time and age, but we just take some time to remember those that have given their lives. A lot of people are flying flags today, and that's cool. I like to see that. When I was a kid, my dad used to put flags all up and down the driveway. Get those little flags, you know, they were only about maybe a foot tall. There's just the small flags, and he'd have them lined up all up down both sides of the driveway. We used to have some big family picnics on Memorial Day. The other thing we always did when my dad owned a Christmas tree farm, we would camp out there every Memorial weekend, the whole family. And I would love camping. You know, I had a little pop-up tent camper at the time that we'd set up. Either that or I could sleep. I had a pup tent that I'd set up and sleep in. But we'd go way back behind the Christmas tree field, and in the back of the field there, some of the trees were left to grow. So it was kind of a pine tree shaded area. And I would always string up a big tarp in case it rained, you know, like a 25 by 25, string it up from the trees, and then I'd put the campfire, you know, right by the side of it, so that you could still have a campfire, sit around the campfire, but be under the canopy if it was raining. And then we had, you know, a table set back there with food and stuff we'd cook over the fire. And man, I miss those days. I love doing that. And my son was saying, you know, well, I want to do that at my place. I want to have the Memorial Day campouts at my place. And I told him, I said, well, think about it. I said, we were camping at my mom and dad's place, and it was something that I went to every year with my mom and dad. And I said, as your kids get older, that'll be a tradition for them. They'll camp out at your place and you know, have the Memorial Day picnic thing. I will go over there, but I you know, and he's offered to let us camp there overnight, but he doesn't live that far away from me, and it's just not worth my time to camp there. But I do go and spend the day there with them and enjoy being with my grandkids and chowing down on his smoked pulled pork butt. Oh, so good, so delicious, so moist and tender. Well, cats, thanks for joining me on this holiday weekend. I hope your holiday is a good one. I keep all of you in my prayers, and I really appreciate your support and prayers too. Till next time, cats, I will catch you all later.